The Archean High Council chamber fell silent as Supreme Commander Vexor's hologram materialized above the crystal table. His tentacled form rippled with the iridescent patterns that indicated supreme confidence among his kind. The other council members leaned forward, their bioluminescent markings pulsing with anticipation. Esteemed Council, Vexor's translated voice resonated through the chamber. Our deep space probes have discovered a remarkably resource-rich planet in Sector 7, designated as Earth by its indigenous species. A holographic representation of Earth appeared beside him, spinning slowly to display its blue-green surface. First Speaker Nixis clicked her mandibles thoughtfully. Another primitive world. We've seen thousands. This one is different. Vexor continued, manipulating the hologram to zoom in on various cities and infrastructure. The dominant species, self-named humans, have achieved basic industrialization and rudimentary space travel, but appear to have stagnated technologically for the past century. The council chamber filled with the equivalent of dismissive laughter, a harmonic resonance that made the crystal fixtures vibrate. These humans were clearly another species that had reached its developmental ceiling. But Science Director Kilara, known for her cautious analysis, raised a tendril. Supreme Commander, what of their information networks? Their energy signatures? Primitive digital systems, mostly wireless telecommunications and basic satellite networks. Their energy production relies heavily on fossil fuels and simple fission reactors. Nothing that suggests any significant defensive capabilities. Vexor's tentacles moved in what the Archeans recognized as a gesture of dismissal. What the Archeans couldn't detect was the vast network of quantum-encrypted communications humming beneath Earth's surface, or the advanced fusion reactors hidden in underground facilities across every continent. They didn't notice the seemingly ordinary satellites that contained cutting-edge weapon systems, or the fact that humanity's apparent technological stagnation was an elaborate deception maintained for exactly this kind of situation. We've monitored their global communications, Vexor continued. Their planet is divided into competing nation-states, often engaged in petty conflicts over resources and ideology. They pose no unified threat. The council members exchanged glances, their bioluminescence shifting through patterns of agreement. They had seen this countless times before. Fractured civilizations were always the easiest to conquer. What resources does this Earth offer? First Speaker Nixis asked, her markings pulsing with interest. Abundant rare earth elements, vast water reserves, and most significantly, a rich biosphere that could supply our processing facilities for centuries. Vexor's tentacles rippled with excitement. The humans' primitive technology means they've barely scratched the surface of their planet's potential. The council chamber erupted in harmonics of approval. In their experience, species at this level of development typically surrendered after a simple show of force. A few orbital bombardments of uninhabited areas usually sufficed. I propose a standard Class 3 acquisition, Vexor said, his confidence unwavering. A small fleet should be more than adequate. We display our technological superiority, demand surrender, and begin resource extraction within a standard cycle. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in a heavily shielded facility, General Sarah Chen watched the alien transmission with a grim smile. The quantum interceptors had been monitoring the Archeans' communications for months, and their translation matrices had long since decoded the aliens' language. They're following the exact pattern we predicted, she said to the assembled military leaders from around the world. The chamber was filled with representatives from every major nation, united under the century-old Terrestrial Defense Pact. Admiral James Rodriguez nodded, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display. Humanity has spent 200 years preparing for this moment. Let them think we're divided and primitive. Let them come with their small fleet. In orbit, the Archeans' advanced scouts continued their surface scans, completely unaware of the vast network of defenses hidden just beneath their sensors' threshold. They didn't detect the quantum-shifted facilities housing humanity's true military forces, or the advanced AI systems analyzing every move they made. The humans had learned long ago that the greatest advantage in war was being underestimated by your enemy. And now, after centuries of careful preparation and deliberate deception, they were about to teach the Arctians a lesson they would never forget. In the council chamber, the vote was unanimous. The acquisition of Earth would proceed. First Speaker Nixis raised all 4 of her upper limbs in the traditional gesture of approval. Let the record show that on this cycle, we authorize the acquisition of planet Earth. May it be as simple as Supreme Commander Vexor predicts. As the council dispersed, none of them noticed the slight distortion in their quantum field that indicated their supposedly secure chamber had been compromised. None of them realized that humanity was not only listening, but had been expecting this moment for generations. The trap was set. Now all humanity had to do was wait for their overconfident visitors to spring it. The Archean invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace in a dazzling display of light, their crystalline ships arranging themselves in perfect geometric formation above Earth. Supreme Commander Vexor stood on his command bridge, his tentacles rippling with satisfaction as he observed the seemingly defenseless planet below. Initial scan complete, Supreme Commander, his sensor officer reported. We detect only basic orbital satellites and primitive space stations. Their most advanced weapons appear to be chemical-propelled missiles and crude nuclear devices. Vexor's bioluminescent patterns glowed with amusement. Begin the standard intimidation protocol. Target their largest uninhabited landmass with a Class II energy burst. Let them witness true power. Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, General Chen watched the alien fleet's formation with calculated patience. The quantum sensors hidden throughout the solar system had tracked the Arctians' approach for days, analyzing every aspect of their technology and tactical patterns. All defense grid systems are ready, Colonel Maya Patel reported, her fingers dancing over the quantum interface console. Stealth fields are holding. They still haven't detected our orbital platforms or the lunar base. General Chen nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. 2 centuries of preparation. Every war, every conflict on Earth's surface, all carefully orchestrated to maintain our cover of technological stagnation. Now we show them what humanity has really achieved. The Archean fleet's primary weapon began charging, its crystal matrix glowing with accumulated energy. On Earth's surface, everything appeared normal. Cities continued their daily routines, satellite television remained active, and commercial air traffic maintained its usual patterns. Energy weapon preparing to fire, Maya announced. Target appears to be the Australian outback. Perfect, Chen smiled. Right where we wanted them. Colonel, initiate Operation Thunderbolt. In that instant, everything changed. Across Earth's orbit, thousands of previously invisible defense platforms shimmered into existence. The primitive satellites revealed their true nature, quantum shields engaging as weapon systems powered up. On the lunar surface, massive hangar doors opened, revealing squadrons of advanced Earth fighters. Aboard his flagship, Vexor's confident posture suddenly shifted to one of alarm. What is this? Where did these structures come from? His sensor officer's tentacles writhed in confusion as new readings flooded his instruments. Supreme Commander, we're detecting quantum technology far beyond what we thought possible from this species. Their orbital defenses, they're everywhere. Before Vexor could respond, the first wave of Earth's counterattack began. The defense platforms fired in perfect synchronization, their quantum-phased energy beams bypassing the Archean shields as if they didn't exist. 3 crystalline ships shattered instantly, their debris scattering across Earth's orbit. Impossible. Vexor's markings pulsed with shock and rage. They're primitives. Their technology was centuries behind ours. From the lunar surface, Earth's first wave of fighters launched. They were works of art, seamless combinations of human innovation and quantum engineering. Each craft was piloted by both a human and an AI partner, allowing for reaction speeds and tactical decisions that no single being could achieve alone. In the command center, General Chen opened a channel to all Earth's defense forces. Operation Thunderbolt is go. Remember your training. We've spent generations preparing for this day. Show them what humanity can do." The Archean fleet attempted to regroup, but they were caught completely off guard. Their tactical doctrine, developed over centuries of easy conquests, had never accounted for this level of resistance. Earth's fighters demonstrated maneuvers that defied their understanding of physics, while the orbital platforms continued their devastating barrage. Supreme Commander, Vexar's second-in-command, called out, "Their technology, it's not just advanced. They're using principles we've never seen before. Their quantum manipulation exceeds our theoretical limits." Vexar watched in horror as another wing of his fleet was decimated by weapons he couldn't even understand. The humans hadn't just achieved quantum technology. They'd taken it in directions the Archeans had never imagined. In Cheyenne Mountain, Colonel Patel's console lit up with new data. "Sir, we're detecting quantum communications from their flagship. They're calling for reinforcements." General Chen's expression remained calm. "Good. Let them call. Phase 2 is about to begin, and we want as much of their fleet here as possible." She turned to face the global command staff. "Prepare the quantum fold generators. It's time to show them why humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our capacity to think beyond conventional limitations." As the battle raged in orbit, Earth's true power was yet to be revealed. The Archeans had made the same mistake countless others had made throughout human history. They had assumed that apparent technological inferiority meant actual inferiority. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapons had always been innovation, adaptability, and the ability to turn an enemy's strengths into weaknesses. The trap wasn't just sprung. It was about to become a revolution in warfare that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of what humans were capable of. Supreme Commander Vexar watched in mounting horror as the Archean reinforcement fleet emerged from hyperspace directly into humanity's waiting trap. The quantum fold generators that Earth had secretly positioned throughout the solar system activated simultaneously, creating a complex web of localized space-time distortions that the Archean ships had no defense against. By the first light, Vexar's science officer whispered, his bioluminescence dimming with fear, "They're not just using quantum technology, they're rewriting its rules." The human fighters demonstrated combat maneuvers that should have been impossible, flowing through the quantum distortions as if they were dancing. Each human pilot, working in perfect synchronization with their AI partner, adapted instantly to the changing battlefield conditions. It was unlike anything the Archeans had ever encountered in their centuries of warfare. In the Cheyenne Mountain Command Center, General Chen watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. "Begin Phase 3, she ordered. "Deploy the Nexus swarms." From hidden bases across Earth's surface, thousands of small autonomous drones launched into the sky. But these weren't ordinary drones. They were quantum-entangled swarm units, each one capable of instantaneous communication and coordination with the others. The Archeans' sophisticated targeting systems couldn't track them. The swarms seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. "Their technology is impossible." Vexar raged as another crystalline warship shattered under the combined assault of human fighters and Nexus swarms. No species advances this quickly. No civilization could hide this level of development. But humanity had done exactly that. Every war on Earth's surface for the past 2 centuries had been carefully orchestrated, a grand deception to maintain the appearance of a divided, technologically stagnant species. While the world's nations appeared to fight over resources and ideology, they had actually been testing and refining their advanced technologies in plain sight. The Archean ships attempted to coordinate their defenses, but Earth's quantum interference was making their usual tactics useless. Their crystal-based technology, which had served them so well for millennia, was being systematically dismantled by weapons and strategies they couldn't even comprehend. "Sir," Colonel Patel reported to General Chen, "the enemy fleet is attempting to establish a new formation. They're adapting their shield frequencies." Chen nodded, "Just as we expected. Activate the Prometheus protocol." Across the battlefield, Earth's forces suddenly shifted tactics. The fighters pulled back, the Nexus swarms dispersed, and for a moment, the Arxians thought they were retreating. Then the quantum fold generators pulsed again, but this time with a different purpose. The Arxians' crystal-based technology relied on perfectly maintained quantum harmonics. Earth's scientists had spent decades studying similar systems, learning their vulnerabilities. The Prometheus protocol didn't attack the Arxian ships directly. Instead, it created a cascade of quantum disruptions that turned their own technology against them. Vexor watched in disbelief as his fleet's crystal matrices began to resonate out of control. Shut down all non-essential systems, he ordered desperately. Reroute power to the stabilizers. But it was too late. The quantum disruptions were spreading from ship to ship through their own communication networks. Crystal hulls began to crack, weapon systems overloaded, and shield generators imploded. In orbit, Earth's fighters maintained their distance, their human pilots and AI partners watching as the Arxian fleet tore itself apart from within. It was a demonstration not just of advanced technology, but of humanity's understanding of their enemy's fundamental weaknesses. "We never needed to match their firepower," General Chen explained to her command staff. "We just needed to understand their technology better than they did themselves. That's always been humanity's greatest strength. We don't just use technology, we understand it. We push it beyond its intended limits." The remaining Arxian ships, those that could still maneuver, began desperate attempts to retreat. But Earth's quantum fold generators had other plans. The distortions in spacetime were growing stronger, more complex, creating a maze that the Arxian ships couldn't navigate. "They're trapped, General," Colonel Patel reported. "Quantum readings suggest their hyperspace drives are completely destabilized." Chen's expression remained stern. "Send the message we prepared. Let's see if they're ready to talk about surrender." As the battle concluded, the galaxy was about to learn an important lesson. Humanity's apparent weakness had been its greatest deception, and its true strength lay not just in its advanced technology, but in its ability to think beyond conventional boundaries. The age of human isolation was over, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Arxian High Council chamber, once a place of supreme confidence and authority, had become uncharacteristically silent. The holographic displays showed the devastating defeat of their fleet in Earth's orbit, playing on endless repeat as the council members struggled to comprehend their failure. First Speaker Nix's bioluminescence had dimmed to a barely visible glow. "How did we not see this coming? Our intelligence networks are the most sophisticated in known space." In the center of the chamber, Supreme Commander Vexor's hologram stood rigid, his tentacles completely still, a sign of deep distress among his kind. "The humans didn't just defeat us," he reported, his translated voice carrying undertones of disbelief. "They predicted our every move. They understood our technology better than we do." Meanwhile, aboard the Earth Defense Force flagship Prometheus, General Chen was conducting a very different kind of meeting. Representatives from various alien species who had been monitoring the conflict were being given their first official tour of human military capabilities. "For centuries, we watched as the galaxy's dominant powers conquered and subjugated primitive worlds," Chen explained to the assembled aliens. "We learned from every conquest, every failure, every victory. We didn't just prepare for war, we prepared for evolution." The alien delegates, a diverse group representing dozens of species, moved through the ship's quantum engineering bay with a mixture of awe and fear. The technology they were seeing challenged everything they thought they knew about technological progression. As Ctheri scientists, their crystalline form similar to the Arxians, but more elaborate, raised an appendage. "Your species appeared to be divided, constantly in conflict. How did you maintain such secrecy?" Colonel Patel, walking alongside Chen, smiled. "Those conflicts were our greatest cover. Every war, every skirmish on Earth's surface was carefully choreographed. While the galaxy watched us fight with conventional weapons, we were actually testing quantum technologies, AI integration, and combat scenarios. In the Archean Council chamber, Science Director Kilara was presenting her analysis. The humans didn't just develop advanced technology. They developed it in ways we never imagined possible. Their quantum manipulation techniques ignore fundamental laws we thought were immutable. But how? Another council member demanded. How does a species advance so rapidly without detection? The answer was simultaneously being demonstrated aboard the Prometheus. General Chen led the alien delegation into the ship's central command nexus, where human operators worked seamlessly with AI partners in a neural interface environment that made the aliens' most advanced systems look primitive. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, Chen explained. It's our adaptability, our ability to look at a problem from angles no one else considers. Every species we studied approached quantum mechanics the same way. We decided to try something different. Back in the Archean Council chamber, the debate had turned heated. Some members called for immediate retaliation with their empire's full might. Others advocated for diplomatic solutions, but Science Director Kilara's next words silenced them all. The humans didn't just defeat our fleet, she said, her markings pulsing with intense patterns. They showed us that everything we thought we knew about technological advancement, about warfare, about species development, it's all wrong. They've proven that our entire understanding of civilization's progress is fundamentally flawed. On the Prometheus, General Chen was concluding the tour. The alien delegates had seen enough to understand that humanity wasn't just another emerging species. They were something entirely new. We're not interested in conquest, Chen assured them. We never were. But we will not allow any civilization to threaten Earth or our allies. The galaxy needs to understand that technological superiority isn't just about who has the most advanced weapons. It's about who can think beyond conventional limitations. The impact of humanity's revelation rippled through galactic society. The Archean Empire, for the first time in its history, faced an existential crisis. Their defeat wasn't just military, it was philosophical. They had to confront the possibility that their entire civilization was built on flawed assumptions about species development and technological progress. In encrypted quantum transmissions across the galaxy, other species began to discuss the implications. The humans hadn't just revealed advanced technology. They had demonstrated a fundamentally different way of thinking about progress, about warfare, about evolution itself. As General Chen returned to her quarters after the delegation's departure, she received a priority message from Earth Command. The Archean Empire had requested formal diplomatic contact. But more significantly, dozens of other species, many previously unknown to humanity, were reaching out. The galaxy was changing. The age of assumption was over. And humanity, the species that had hidden in plain sight for centuries, was about to take its place on an interstellar stage that would never be the same. 1 year after the failed invasion of Earth, the landscape of galactic politics had transformed beyond recognition. The newly constructed Unity Station orbited Earth's moon, its crystalline and metal architecture representing a fusion of multiple species' design philosophies. Inside its grand assembly chamber, representatives from over 100 civilizations gathered for what would become known as the Paradigm Summit. General Chen, now Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Assembly, stood at the central podium. The chamber's quantum-enhanced acoustics carried her voice clearly to every species present, regardless of their auditory capabilities. A year ago, many of you saw humanity as primitive, barely worth noticing, she began. Today, we gather not as conquerors and conquered, but as equals seeking a new way forward. Among the delegates, Supreme Commander Vexer, now first speaker of the reformed Archean Collective, shifted his tentacles in the gesture of acknowledgement. The Archeans had undergone the most dramatic transformation of all, their society fundamentally restructured after their defeat at Earth's hands. The old paradigm of judging species by their apparent technological advancement led us all astray, Chen continued. Humanity's deception wasn't just about protecting ourselves. It was about proving a point. True advancement isn't about who has the biggest ships or the most powerful weapons. It's about how we think, how we adapt, how we imagine possibilities others dismiss as impossible. In the years since the battle, Earth had selectively shared some of its technological innovations. But more significantly, they had shared their methodology, their way of approaching problems from unconventional angles. The results had been staggering. The Sci-Fi, applying human quantum theory to their crystal technology, had achieved breakthroughs their scientists had thought impossible for millennia. The Merafi, inspired by humanity's AI partnership approach, had revolutionized their neural interface systems. Even the Arctians had begun experimenting with hybrid technologies that merged their traditional crystal-based systems with human quantum innovations. But technology isn't why we're here today, Chen said, gesturing to the holographic displays showing various collaborative projects across the galaxy. We're here because humanity's emergence forced every species to confront their preconceptions about technology, about evolution, about what makes a civilization truly advanced. The chamber's atmosphere shifted as she activated a new holographic display, showing Earth's surface. Cities that had once hidden their true nature now gleamed with openly displayed advanced technology. But alongside the quantum spires and gravity-defying architecture, there were still parks, museums, libraries, reminders of humanity's journey. We kept our advancement hidden because we saw how the galaxy treated primitive species, Chen explained. The strong conquered the weak. The advanced dominated the developing. We decided to break that cycle, not through superior firepower, but by proving that true strength lies in diversity of thought, in the ability to see beyond established limits. The assembly chamber erupted in a cacophony of approval expressed in dozens of different ways. Light patterns, harmonic resonances, quantum fluctuations. The galaxy was changing, and every species present knew they were witnessing the birth of a new era. In the orbital shipyards above Earth, the first vessels of the Joint Species Exploration Fleet were under construction. They combined the best aspects of multiple civilizations' technologies: human quantum innovations, Archean crystal engineering, Sci-Fi neural interfaces, and dozens of other contributions. Each ship would carry a crew composed of multiple species, a practical demonstration of the new philosophy taking root in galactic society. Today, we formalize the United Species Accord, Chen announced, activating the quantum-secured voting system. Not an empire, not a hierarchy, but a true collaboration. Every species, regardless of their apparent technological level, will have an equal voice. Because we've learned that appearances can be deceiving, and that innovation can come from the most unexpected sources. As the votes were cast, and the accord was ratified, the old power structures of the galaxy crumbled. The Archean Empire became the Archean Collective, dedicating its resources to scientific advancement rather than conquest. Other former empires followed suit, transforming into collaborative members of the new galactic community. The future that emerged wasn't one of human dominance. That had never been humanity's goal. Instead, it was one of genuine cooperation, where each species contributed their unique perspectives and abilities. Humanity had shown the galaxy not just new technology, but a new way of thinking about civilization itself. As the summit concluded, General Chen stood with First Speaker Vexer in Unity Station's observation dome, watching Earth rotate below them. The planet no longer needed to hide its true nature, yet it had retained much of its original character. A testament to humanity's belief that progress didn't require abandoning one's roots. We never wanted to rule the galaxy, Chen said to Vexer. We wanted to change it, to show that there's always another way, if you're willing to look for it. Vexer's bioluminescence rippled in what had become recognized as the Archean expression of profound understanding. And in doing so, you changed us all. Perhaps that was the greatest deception, making us believe that change was impossible. As ships of various species moved through the solar system, their designs a harmonious blend of different technological philosophies, the truth of humanity's victory became clear. They had won not by being the strongest or the most advanced, but by proving that the path to true advancement lay in questioning assumptions, in finding new ways to solve old problems, and in the willingness to imagine a different kind of future. The galaxy would never be the same, and that had been humanity's plan all along.